Can you put it onto my screen? Just click my screen so I'm live. Good evening, everyone. This is Malcolm Peters calling from London for a very exciting call that we planned for you today on the 4th of June, 2017. So I want to mute myself here because we've got this second video that we're looking at. So as you come online, everybody, we've got a few moments before we get started, about 3 or 4 moments. We want you to get to know exactly how the platform itself works. You'll be watching this live on YouTube. And if you look at your YouTube channel, there's an area for you to chat. So as you come online, please introduce yourselves, your first names and where you're calling from. I see Anne-Marie has just joined us. Good evening from Holland. I'd like you all to interact with us on the call early, but as speakers come on and they start presenting, we really would appreciate it if you've got any questions or points of clarification to leave them towards the end of the call, because it's really distracting for some of the people that are watching the video itself. Hello, Dawn Nelson calling from London. Welcome to the call. So before we get ourselves started, we've got about 3 minutes and I'm very excited tonight. We've got guests from all over the world who've joined our call. And this call, for those of you who are new watching this for the first time, is really a platform that we have as Global Partners Group to enable our teams globally to get together, to hear from some of the leadership, recognize people who go through the ranks, who qualify at the higher levels that we have in this program, and most importantly, to get tips, information, motivation, and ideas from a fantastic group of leaders that we've got from around the world itself. My name's Malcolm Peters. I'm calling from the United Kingdom. The time at the moment is just 1 minute before we get started, and I'm going to allow about 2 or 3 minutes for all of you to join us, get yourselves comfortable, get a coffee or a tea, and make sure that you have lots of paper and a pen, because there's some fantastic advice and information from who I believe is one of the greatest teams that we've got in the whole of the Jeunesse opportunity worldwide. As you come online, please do introduce yourselves, your first names and where you're calling from. Thank you for joining us. Isya, who's just calling in from Holland. We've got Essentials. I have no idea where you're from. It's Leandri. I'm not sure where you're from. If you'd like to just say the city that you're calling from, Leandri. Jean-Claude Salil, welcome from France. So we've got Holland, London, and France online. We've got about a 45-second an echo, if you like, of what from the time I speak live and you watch us on YouTube. So there's a bit of a time gap. And so I'm going to allow a few moments for all of you to settle in and join us. Hi, Nasli Jacobs, calling from South Africa. Fantastic. So we've got Holland, we've got France, we've got England, we've got South Africa, and we've got guests France as well, as just pointed out. Ontario, welcome to call. Lorraine, who's calling in from Canada, just waiting for Canada to join us. For those of you joining in the next minute or so, there's a chat box area. Please feel free to introduce yourselves, your first names and where you're calling from. It enables people to see the diversity of people that we've got from different countries, like my good friend Pia, who's just joined us from Sweden. Welcome to the call. Shalene, welcome to the call from South Africa. The call is going to start in just about 2 minutes' time, so we're going to get you all settled. We'd like you all to use the chat, please, but while we're talking or the speakers are covering subjects, you can make comments if you want to applaud them or you're happy with what they're saying, but please leave your questions to the end of the call. That enables us to make sure that our speakers have time and are not distracted, but more importantly as well, many of the people that are watching this call live now and in the future have time to soak in some of the fantastic information that we've got lined for you. I'd like to welcome also Leandri from South Africa. So at this moment in time, we've got Holland, South Africa, Canada online. We've got France online here, United Kingdom. I've got guests who are also calling in from London. We've got other guests online and my panel of speakers that are calling in from around the world. We're going to get the call started in just a minute's time to give you all time to come online and say hi. As you join us, please introduce yourselves using YouTube channel. You can see a chat box on there. Say hi, where you're calling from, your name and where you're calling from. And most importantly, we want to know what country you're calling from as well. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Malcolm Peters. They call me the fire starter, quite fired up, but it's been a somber day for me today, and I won't go into much more of the detail, but I'm sure most of you worldwide know we've had a bit of a calamity in my city last night, and I was up till 4 o'clock. And I'd just like to say that my heart goes out to the families of the victims of this outrageous act in my city. But we believe, and I believe in many of us, that life has to go on, because we will not allow anyone to stop us from being who we are in a very democratic nation and doing what we enjoy doing best. So I just thought I'd mention that out of respect for the people that have passed away yesterday and the week before. Welcome to call, Debbie Innes, calling in from Ontario in Canada. And really what I'd like to do now is to start building up towards the call itself. I have a fabulous, fabulous panel of speakers, as always, from around the world. The call really is designed to do three things for those of you watching it for the first time. First is to ensure that new people who've joined us can understand that we have a good infrastructure here of training and support for all of our distributors around the world. We have a global footprint with the world's fastest growing company, and it's important that no one feels left out. If you've been brought into this business in the Philippines, or you've been in Taiwan, or wherever it is, you can come online on the Sunday call and join us. Here, you're going to meet some of the leadership in our business. You're going to find out who's being recognized at the higher ranks of what we've got in the marketing plan as well. Tips, information, and lots of good ideas. And most importantly, a motivational call that prepares you for the week ahead. Without further ado, as we go and get ourselves started live, hi, welcome to call Leah from Holland, and Lise, welcome to call from Norway. It is my great pleasure to introduce my first guest to all of you. And I'll take a deep breath because I always get quite emotional talking about these two wonderful guests I want to bring online. Over 20-something years ago, it's quite a long time ago, a couple of quite meteoric rising stars in the network marketing industry arrived in the United Kingdom. I'd never heard of them before, and their names were Paula Pritchard and Kathy Robbins. And from that time of when they came across to England and introduced a new business to our shores, we became friends. And you know what I love about this industry? It's not just the transformational journey that we actually have. It's the friendships and the lifelong friendships that we form with people. Paula and Kathy are my mentors and my friends, and really have been two people that throughout this journey, well over a quarter of a century, it's a hell of a long time, have always been there to support me, mentor me, and being a bit crazy at times, protect me and protect my back at all times. I'd like to introduce you all to my diamond director, my friend, and my sponsor in this business, Kathy Robbins, who's calling in all the way from Florida in the USA. She's going to spend a few moments to introduce who she is, tell you a little bit about Global Partners Group. We belong to that group together. And she's going to give you some information that I believe will be of great value to all of you. I'd like to introduce you to Kathy Robbins, calling in from Florida.
Thank you, Malcolm. We are here. It's 2:00 in the afternoon on a very rainy day in Florida. Although we were desperately in need of it, it's still not very pretty. I wanted to talk to you for a minute. You know, Paula and I have been in business. Actually, I've been in network marketing 30 years this month. And all but the first 8 months, I've been full-time in network marketing. And Paula and I have worked together all that time, and we've had some unbelievable experiences. For me, one of the best decisions I ever made was selling my investment firm and coming to the network marketing business. It's been a great experience. But I will tell you that this year has been probably our busiest year. We started the year in Budapest, Amsterdam, Cyprus, and Greece. Came home for a bit, turned around and went to Amsterdam. Then we went to London and Amsterdam. Then we came back a couple weeks. We're in Dubai for the incentive trip, and Turkey, Istanbul, which is a spectacular city. And then we came back again, and we will leave, I guess it's in about 10 days, for Bora Bora, where the company has bought out the Four Seasons Hotel for the Diamond trip. We'll be back for a couple of weeks, and then we will be in Africa, Johannesburg, Cape Town, Zambia, and Zimbabwe. So it will have been a very busy time. We will be, I think, here August and September. October, we will be in Milan. Back here the following month for Orlando. So it's a great business. We have made friends around the world. And I think that's one of the things I'd like to talk to you about, because you're coming from the investment business. One of the things that I learned was you don't put all your eggs in one basket. You don't work in just one place. And, you know, in the old days in network marketing, we did, you know, you worked in your hometown because there wasn't Facebook and there wasn't social media. I mean, we were still using cell phones that looked like bricks and fax machines. And I mean, it was a much different business. But now you can build a business around the world. We started in the late 1980s. Company asked Paula to go to Europe. She and I formed a partnership. She went to London. You know, and you've probably heard the story, but I know she didn't know anybody. All she did was ask the people who she knew. Who do you know in London? And then she'd go and call them, which wasn't easy for her at the time because she wasn't sure how everything worked there. But she built a business that within a year was doing $1 million in business a year. And that was a lot of money at that time. So for us, it started that early. And we have always built, if possible, internationally. We built it after that company. We were with a company, you know, we had 200,000 people in 16 countries. It was a breakaway plan. It was not a binary. It was not an easy plan. But what that does for you is it's just like investments, right? You have a diversified portfolio. And because all markets go up and down. And so if one market's down, maybe the other one's up. I can tell you that the company where we were in the 16 countries ultimately got in some trouble because of an owner who was not honest and not sane either. And so we had some issues, right? I watch people who only built in North America, their income go down very quickly. But ours didn't, because ours was based a portion on North America, but it was also based on Europe. So we have so much potential with this company. And it isn't, you know, they asked me to speak at the last Discover Jeunesse. And when I talked about that is I told everybody, you know, when we came to Jeunesse, all I was interested in and all Paula was interested in were the owners honest, good people. That was the most important thing to us, because you can have a great product, you can have a great compensation plan, but if you don't know who's running the deal, who owns the deal, who controls the purse strings, you could be in real trouble. So we sat for, I bet you, 2 or 3 hours with Wendy Lewis. We met Randy, we met Scott, we met Donna Antar, we met Debbie, we met a bunch of people, but the bulk of it was just talking to Wendy, which was enough for us to say, okay, this is a place we seriously need to look at. And we also have 2 friends here, Jason Karamanis and Teresa Gregory. Both of them have known these people for years and years. So I will tell you, for those of you that might be new, I can't say Jeunesse isn't going to make mistakes, because they're people. All companies make mistakes. But what I can tell you is the mistakes they made never come from a place of greed or dishonesty. They are mistakes that are made just in the pursuit of the business. And so for me, I can deal with that. I can deal with the fact that, you know, not everything's going to be perfect. But I'm going to tell you this. There's a lot of companies that the problems are a lot deeper, a lot worse. And this is the best thing that ever happened to us. It really is. Paul and I have talked about it as being our reward for this. So I really believe that you should seriously consider, if you're sitting in the Netherlands, if you're sitting in Norway, if you're sitting in, you know, South Africa or wherever you might be, to talk to people in your area who have contacts in other countries. Most of you live in places where there are people from other countries. You know, the United States is filled with people from other countries. London, Ontario, you know, any big city has people who are here from all over the world. Talk to them. You know, India's opening in the fall. Colleen's a great person to talk about that. I was talking to her earlier today, telling her how proud Paula and I are of her. She has built an unbelievable business. I asked her how she got the first guy. She told me Facebook. But she has built a friendship and a loyalty with him that isn't easy for everybody. But I mean, she's done it, and she has done a great job. And her people in India are loyal to her. And a lot of times that's not the case in a brand new country with a brand new person you don't even know. So I admire Colleen. She's done a fabulous job. And I know Mapo has gone all over, Oliver's gone all over. Those things are really important. And as you begin to set your plan, think about who's in your area. What countries might they be from? So that you can spread beyond your small little group and get out in the big world, because it will give you a chance not only to make money, but God, it's great to get to other parts of the world and meet people and see people. Africa has been on my bucket list for as long as I can remember, and I'm finally going to get to go. So it's a great opportunity. And I wish you all well. We're here. We're always here to help. And the Global Partners Group is a group that has people in more than 70 countries. We are a group who take care of our own. If Malcolm's having meetings in London, or Colleen's in Canada, or Oliver and Mapo are in Africa, or Dan's in Indiana. That is right, isn't it, Dan? You are in Indiana, right? Next to my old home area, Ohio. So, but they're going to take care of your people. They're going to make sure that they're taken care of. And that is a real plus, because let me tell you, the Global Partners Group, after 30 years of the industry, is unique in the industry. So you're at the right place. You're with the right people. It's a fabulous business. So I'll turn it back to you, Malcolm.
Fantastic. Thank you very, very much for that, Kathy. There's a couple of things that you said that people really need to understand, because we've got great product and we've got a great plan, but you've mentioned something you just touched on very briefly before I bring on my next guest, is lifestyle. And it's fantastic. So people need to understand that we all dream about having lots of money. One of the things that we all like to do is to go on holiday. The company gives you fully paid up holidays as such, 5-star accommodation, business class trips once you hit the higher ranks. We also have promotional rewards that take place almost every 3 months around the world. You can qualify for trips in different countries. Last year, we had a trip with 8,000 people from around the world that went on 5 separate cruise liners across the Mediterranean, which was very exciting. And a large number of people have just come back from a 5-star resort in Cancun in Mexico. My diamonds are going to Bora Bora. We dream about these kind of places, and the resort that they've mentioned is one of the best resorts out there. You'll be seeing a lot more of that on some of the Facebook posts that we actually have. I'd like to introduce you all to someone who has become a very good friend that I respect immensely, someone who I've got on with for many, many years, and the only person I know of where I have to keep quiet sometimes, because she's the person that can put me on the straight and narrow, as we say. I'm a bit of a wild child when it comes to things. I've never been in a job in my entire life, never had a boss. But when Paula, who's my sponsor and my friend, gives me advice or tells me what I should be doing, then I will make sure that I listen. Because you're talking to someone that's gone out into the European marketplace, built a team of 200,000 people without Facebook, without cell phones, without the internet, and without social media. You're talking to one of the giants of network marketing. And it's my pleasure and my privilege to introduce to you all my mentor and my good friend, Paula Pritchard, Diamond Director from Jeunesse Global. Paula.
Great, thank you. Thank you. I'm through. It's like there might be a slowness. Okay, am I okay? I'm on? All right. Thank you, Malcolm. Thank you for that. And I'm looking at all these people across the bottom here, and I have a relationship with most all of them, and it's I know some of their stories, and I know how hard they're working in the business, and some of the things that they're doing, and I just it makes me smile to see all those faces. So yes, Malcolm, you are like a brother to me. We go at it sometimes, but it's all out of pure love, that's for sure. First of all, I want to mention Dan is from Tennessee. It's the only state that I heard a story about from Kathy that in her 20s, she got a speeding ticket there, and they put her back in the state to drive. So every time I would drive with her and we go through Tennessee, I had to drive. So I think she's past her statute of limitations. She'll probably kill me for telling you that. But anyway, thumbs up to Tennessee. So Am I coming through okay? My screen freezes here, but I'm hoping it's not freezing for you.
You're coming across okay. We've got a slight lag, but it's perfectly okay. If you take your time, it's coming through.
So if I talk real slow, no. Anyway, I just I want to say a few things. First of all, my heart goes out to London, my second home. I love London. We built a business there, like Kathy said, that in 12 months was doing $1 million a month, not $1 million a year. So we were really proud of that. And I have to tell you that it was a privilege to work there. It was a privilege to get to know all the people there. And I hate that they have to go through these crises that they're going through. At the same time, I want to make sure that that it's been an exciting week. It's been very exciting to watch Mapogo's Sapphire lead. You know, it's interesting about a business like this. You get excited for things that happen to yourself, but you get even more excited for things that happen to other people. So anyway, if I'm lagging too much, I can go out and come back in. I don't know if that will help. It might help.
You're doing fine.
Would you like me to do that? It'll take me like about two seconds.
Okay. May I suggest, Paula, what you do is, if you can get to where Kathy is, to her connection, because her connection is crystal clear. So what I can do is I can bring Empo on. We can recognize Empo, and you can help me to talk about Global Partners Group in a few moments, because there's a large lag on the screen that you're on right now. Is that okay?
Okay, I'll do it.
All right. Thanks, Paula. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, that's the great thing about teamwork.
Yeah.
Colleen, if you get me live, please. My next guest, as Paula gets herself organized, unfortunately, as you know, this technical issue that's just taken place there with the time lag is, I want to introduce you to, you know, I call myself a fire starter and people call me that, but I really have met a kindred spirit with my next guest. I met her in Orlando when we had a large convention, and she's just an incredible, energetic human being. That's all I can describe it as. And I can have a wonderful memory, which I have a video of online, of me having a dance with her with, I think, 15,000 people when a band came on, and she just turned around and said, should we have a dance? And we had a good dance together. Very rarely do you meet individuals like Empo Dindi. We're all unique in what we do and how we can develop our skill sets in a journey such as this with a great company. But she strikes all of us as a shining example of what can be achieved with this company. This company gives you really what I call a route, a map to work with, a vehicle that you're driving. And it's really about a journey of transformation, of change. And you will never find anyone almost anywhere that I have been through in many, many years in this industry who is as dynamic, as positive, as wonderful, and as creative and productive as my next guest, Empo Dindi, who's calling in from South Africa. I'd like to introduce you all to our new Sapphire Elite in GPG. A big hand, Empo Dindi, calling in from South Africa. Well done, my sister. Okay, we can just see the top of your head, so you go bring your camera down. I know that you're a little bit shy, but you're not that bad. There you go. Excellent. Thanks, Empo. Mic working, please, someone.
You're on mute.
Okay, Empo, you're muted out. Can you find a way to unmute yourself, please? We'll give you a moment to do that. If you look, Empo, at the top of the screen, there's a little bar that comes up, and you'll see the microphone. You've got to click that because you're muted at the moment. Okay. Can you unmute her as the main coordinator of the call at all? Can you just check? Just go and put your mouse across. Do you see an arrow there, Colleen?
I think now I am unmuted.
There you go. Empo in South Africa. Excellent. Okay.
Good.
One more thing, because I want to give you your space, and I want everyone to see you as well. Can you just move your move down your webcam a little bit more so we get a good picture of you, and we can see you a lot better. There you go. Pleasure meeting you online.
Okay.
Please share your fantastic story. But before you say anything, congratulations, Sapphire Elite. The first real step of leadership in the plan. You've done a fantastic job. Sister Empo, over to you.
Thank you, Malcolm, and good evening, everyone. In South Africa, it is after 8 now, and this is an amazing moment, you know. And when you start as a distributor, as an executive, as a Jade, you know, you think this is far, you think this is difficult and it's going to be difficult to achieve. And with the help of our leadership, with the help of the team, you know, anything is actually positive and it can be done. I mean, I started this business about 1.5 years ago when Oliver introduced it to me. I remember I did not even go to a presentation, or I just looked at Instantly Ageless video and I thought, this is what I want to associate myself with. Little did I know how much that video was going to change my life. And I just carried on, and my goal was actually for as many people as possible to know about this new venture, to know about what I have discovered. So I started talking to everybody and anybody out there. I didn't care whether they are doctors, whether they are CEOs, whether, you know, when I look at the leadership now, actually most of the people that are sapphires in my team are the people that I knew by just talking about Jeunesse. Only one person is my family member, my Mili from Lesotho. Everybody else is people that I met because I was talking to them about Jeunesse. And during my journey with Jeunesse, I just found myself, you know, eager to really take this message out there. I started with Lesotho, which is my hometown. I went to Zambia, I went to Zimbabwe. Now we are planning with the leaders in those countries to actually go and open other African countries, which is going to really, really be amazing. But the support that I found in the GPG, in Jeunesse in general, has been amazing. I really do not think I would have achieved what I have achieved if it was not the effort and support of everybody. I mean, just by achieving this position, the messages that I have been receiving from Gerard, from Chris Cooper, from Paula, from everybody, it has really been amazing. Just to give you an example of what I really enjoyed about my journey with Jeunesse, traveling. I have been in this company for not even 2 years. I have already been to 3 countries in Europe. I have been to Florida, where I met Malcolm as well for the first time. Already I will be going to Thailand. I mean, those are the places that not in my wildest dreams from the Kingdom Mountains of Lesotho did I dream that I will go to those places, all expenses paid for. The treatment that we get, amazing, truly 5-star. Every day I discover every positive and every beautiful things about this company. Meeting the founders and actually talking to them when I was in Budapest. No, when we were in Prague, it was truly amazing, and the faith that they have for Africa. So really, we are the pioneers in this business, and what has happened in Africa now is not even the beginning. It has not even started. It's still yet to start. And I am so proud to actually be part of this. As I have been in this business and traveling all over the place, we are now having 14 sapphires on my team. And it's amazing because I did not do that on my own. You go around, you find other leaders that are having the same why as you to some extent of spreading the news, of going out there and changing people's lives. I found Dr. Nelly in Zambia. Dr. Nelly is such a remarkable leader. I learned so much from her, and we learned so much from each other. You know, the team spirit that has been in our team is amazing. It's amazing. When they found out that I'm so close to getting to Sapphire, every leader went to their people and said, your leader is short so many points to go Sapphire Elite. They went all out. They made sure that they leave no stone unturned for me to go Sapphire Elite. And all they say is, Mpho, we thank you for introducing us into the business. We thank you for everything that you have done for us. You have been coming to Zambia on a monthly basis. You have been coming to Zimbabwe, and you pay everything for yourself. So sometimes when you help people, don't help them because you are looking for something in return. Today, I did not know that everything that I have been doing just to support my team, they will do much more for me. Paula, Kathy, everyone, thank you so much. Paula, when she heard as well that I was that close, she said, Mpho, you have got to do this. I remember when I said to her, Paula, I believe that I can be a Sapphire Elite this month, but I'm feeling scared. I'm feeling emotional about it. I have never felt like this before. She said, Mpho, is because it's going to happen. You move on, scared as you are, and you do anything in your power to do it. It's going to happen. Honestly, GPG, I am so thankful that I somehow fell on this team, because the support that is from everyone on this team is amazing. The relationship that we have built is really, really out of this world. So the message that I would like to give to others out there is that have your strong why. Have the why that is bigger than yourself. I mean, when I first told Paula what my why was. And every time she would remind me of that. I want my kids to go to school overseas to do their universities there. And I see that happening now. And as I go along, my why has been changing and developing, increasing. And now my why is actually to retire my husband, because I travel so much and I would love to travel the world with my husband, who has been very, very, very supportive. I have never seen a husband that will let you go for weeks and stay in Zambia, in hotels. When I come back, I just change suitcases, I go some other place. And he says, if this is what you want, I will support you 100%. So my why, on top of wanting the best education for my kids, is to retire my husband so that we can actually enjoy life together. And another thing that I would say out there, live, drink, eat Genes, because honestly, I sit next to somebody on a bus, I talk Genes. Anything that I do, I talk Genes. And that I have realized the benefit of that. Ningi from Durban, who has just turned a Sapphire now, who is the second Black sapphire in South Africa. We met through Keys, and I just talked Janice. Ntepeng, I found her on Facebook. We talked Janice. She's now has just been a sapphire from Lesotho. Dr. Nelly, we were presenting in the same event from Zambia. She has become sapphire, and she has got about 6 more sapphires in 1 month. She is such an incredible leader. And we have Beatrice, who is from Zimbabwe. Beatrice, we just met at the expo. She is now our first sapphire in Zimbabwe. And we want to have sapphires, we want to have leaders anywhere and everywhere in Africa where possible. So our goal now is to team up as leaders in GPG Africa and go and open other African countries. Our leader has already said, Kathy, that you don't just build in Lesotho in your own area in South Africa. So now teaming up with other leaders and going to these other countries, we are going to actually achieve. Paula, we are very excited for you and Kathy to be coming to South Africa. This is how it shows that the support that we have from GPG is amazing. And we really, really want to make you proud. We want to say thank you to you and Kathy for everything that you have done for us, for every encouragement. I remember when you were saying, Mpo, I want to come to South Africa in March. How is March? I said, March is so close. Let's see what we can do, because we want that room when you arrive to be filled with the GPG leaders. And that is what we are striving and driving towards. We want to have more than 20 sapphires in that room that is from the GPG, because your leadership is amazing. And we are thankful that we are on your team. And without a doubt, you are going to have diamonds from Africa. Thank you.
Wow. Normally I try and fit in after that. You know, you are an extraordinary individual, and I think everybody on this call could hear your heart sing and speak. I think what you've done is enormously beneficial for everybody that's ever going to watch this recording, Mpo. And I'd like to thank you for being on our call. You're a unique, wonderful individual. And a few things that you've said, I'm a bit speechless at the moment, which is rare for me, because I'm going to bring on Paula Pritchard, who is sitting in the background that you've just mentioned. And I'll close from what you've said, from the notes I've taken, about the great piece of information that you've given, advice you've given to everybody else. And I think really the message is, if it is to be, it is up to me. Mpo Dindi, that was absolutely fantastic. So I'd like to bring back, if I can, Paula Pritchard, my sponsor. And I think Paula will have quite a few things to say about this extraordinary young lady that you've just heard, a fire starter from South Africa. Back to Paula Pritchard calling in from Florida. Paula.
Great. I hope it's better this time. Tell me if it isn't, because I'll change to another location. But Mpo is, and you can see this when she talks, you can hear it when she talks. She is the epitome of what I dream of in my heart for people to see GPG, because she doesn't speak from her brain, she speaks from her heart. When she stands on a stage, it oozes out of her heart. You know, you can hear the sincerity. You know that she cares about these people, and it is just, it's powerful. And you know, there's certain people that'll speak, you just don't hear it the same way. You can tell when somebody comes from their heart and when they're coming from their head. And she definitely comes from her heart, or people feel it. And you know, when you have that kind of, when your people know you care, it makes them care back. And I learned years ago, when I was in Amway, how important relationships were. It was the glue that kept people together. And I mean, there were people in Amway that it took years and years. They didn't make any money, because by the time they would buy tapes and books and go to seminars, their earnings were minimal, but there was no way you could pry them away from Amway because it was such a family environment. This was their relatives. You don't leave your family. And so they would never even dream in a million years of leaving Amway. And I saw that, I felt it, I was a part of it. And it's something that I've wanted to perpetuate in every business throughout my entire career is that love and that excitement of other people's success and wanting their success so bad and trying to do everything you can when they have bad days to help them get back up, when they have good days to be able to celebrate with them and congratulate with them. This is a business that is all the good aspects of human nature. And in GPG, I want to be able to magnify that through GPG. Integrity, honor, respect, ethics, in business, I don't care what business there is, you always see the good and the bad. And I just want GPG, I just want it to shine with the good, no matter where it is. And that we leave the impression that no one is left behind. So if somebody says, oh, I've been in network marketing, it doesn't work for me, I just say you've never been with GPG. Because when you're with GPG, we're going to put together the webinars, the trainings, the mobile training systems, the support systems, the coaching. We're going to do everything we can to help you. And, I don't even look at people's volume when I'm helping them. I'm just helping them. And, you stick in there long enough and you come through the trenches with some people, and I'm going to tell you, you're bonded for life. So I'm just really proud to be a part of the Global Partners Group in all these countries. I'm very proud for how we reach out and help one another. I'm very proud for the leadership that Malcolm takes to do these calls every Sunday. I'm proud to watch many of you and what you've done with the teams that you've built. And I mean, the reward, if you do it right and you keep those blinders on, doing what you need to do to help other people succeed, you never worry about yourself. And I coined a phrase a while back that success is not how many times you're on the stage, it's how many times your people are on the stage. So, if you be the example, if I could say anything, it would be the example, be the example. I did a Facebook Live about that because, when I started network marketing, I spent the first 15 months being very frustrated because I had no control over it. I used to tell people it reminded me of my golf game. I had no control whether I had a great shot or I had a terrible shot. No control. And I couldn't tell you what I was doing wrong. It felt the same, but I'd hit it really far and I'd say, oh my gosh, I'm going to have a great day. And the next one would go about 10 feet. And I couldn't tell you what I did wrong. And so, I realized that that I had no control of network marketing. I needed people to be successful. And so I kept bringing people on, and I kept trying to motivate them and excite them. And maybe some of you listening to this call are doing the same. And I want to tell you, stop, because you are turning your business into a job. You are trying to make a volunteer army into an employee. You're going to be miserable. They're going to be miserable. If you build a relationship, they're going to follow you. If you set the example, those that want it are going to follow you. So I finally came to the realization you can't control your business. You can control it. You control it in a couple big ways. One of them is to be the example. If you could just be the example, you want people to sponsor, then you sponsor. You want people to go to meetings, you go to meetings. Stop worrying about how many people showed up at a meeting. I don't care if no one showed up. If it was just me and my guest, that was the one that had my total attention. Some people would come to meetings and they'd complain. They'd say, look at these people here. They didn't invite a guest. and I say, number one, how many guests did you bring? And number two, don't ever, ever, ever complain about the people that come to your meeting, because whether they bring a guest or they don't bring a guest, they are window dressing. They add to the meeting. They laugh at your stupid jokes. They applaud when somebody gets recognized. They fill the seats, and they are window dressing. Window dressing is so important. It's like if you go down a street, you know, and it's a shopping street. It has all these stores, but there's nothing in the window. What draws you in? You know, if there's window dressing, there's you know, clothes or mannequins or stuff in the window, something's going to catch your eye and draw you in. That's the whole purpose of it. So if you come to a meeting and you see a number of people there, you realize something must be going on here. You don't know whether they brought guests. You don't know if they've been in a month or a year. You don't know anything. So I embrace my people who come to meetings. I'm not going to be mad as an employer that my employees didn't bring their guests. But what I am going to do is I'm going to control the only thing I can control, which is me. I'm going to bring guests. When I used to do home meetings and I go to someone's home to do their first meeting, I would say, do you mind if I bring my own guests? Why was I doing that? Because I'm setting the example, and it's the only thing I could control. So it's, you know, it's the same thing with momentum. Momentum is your secret weapon. You know, you need to create momentum in your in your business. People say, my organization, they bore me to tears. They're not doing anything. You know, okay, I say that's fine, but what are you doing? Because I don't care about anybody else. What are you doing? You know, because you're the one complaining. You're the one that wants to build a business. You're the one that controls your success, not these people. What are you doing? Oh, you need to bring people. Okay, and they say, well, there's no momentum in my group. You need to create the momentum. Well, what do you mean, Paula? How do I create the momentum? Well, have you ever gone to a gym and you want to build a muscle, and you go and you lift weights, and the first day you don't really notice a whole lot of difference? They tell you to come maybe every other day, so you don't, you don't overdo it. But then you come another day and then you lift weights. You're not sure you feel anything yet. You lift some more weights. You go through it about a week, 2 weeks. All of a sudden you start to feel something's happening. Okay, it's momentum. Momentum comes from you taking the action, and then the results will follow. You start, and then all of a sudden you start to feel the muscle and you get excited. And then you start going more consistently, because now you're getting results, you're getting feedback. It's the same with losing weight. If you want to show Zen works, do it. Do it. Look how much weight Malcolm's lost. Amazing. And I'm so proud of him. And I think to myself, he took the bull by the horns, and he says, if it is to be, it's up to me. I'm in control. I can't just talk it. I need to walk it. So I need to walk the talk. So therefore, I want to show Zen works, or I want to do it, then I need to consistently start doing it every day. And I might not notice results right away. But I'm going to tell you, if you've all been on that detox program, it's pretty impressive. I mean, it's like, wow, how did that go? How does that work? But I'm going to tell you, you can create momentum in your business by you being the example, by you doing it first. After a while, people are going to look at you, and you're going to inspire people. And when you inspire people, you're going to inspire them to do something. Understand that sponsorship is the lifeblood of your business. You've got to sponsor. You can't stop sponsoring ever, ever. Now, in the beginning, in the first 90 days, you're going to spend 80 to 90% of your time sponsoring Frontline. And then you're going to spend about 20% of your time doing 3-way sponsoring for your team. Eventually, after 90 days, you're going to have enough people that have joined you that they're going to start, wanting you for 3-ways, wanting you for meetings. So you might flip, and you might end up doing 20% sponsoring for yourself, 80% sponsoring with your team. But I want to tell you, that will build you an average, decent business. If you want to build a great business, then if you want to build a really good business, put 2 90 days back to back. where you're sponsoring 80% of your time, you're sponsoring like crazy. You're trying to squeeze in as much of the 20% time helping your people do 3 ways and doing opportunity meetings. If you do it 3 times, 390 days, you will build yourself to double diamond and beyond. You will build yourself an extraordinary great business. But you know, if you notice, I never said not sponsoring. You never get to a point where you stop sponsoring. Never. Don't ever become a manager. For heaven's sakes, don't become a manager for your own peace of mind, but mostly for the example to your people. Because this is a business of duplication. You become a manager, your people become a manager. Now you're really frustrated. You have got to keep bringing new people. You'll have some attrition. You always have people that fall by the wayside. You also have people get off track, or they have crises in their life. You know, you're always going to have some attrition. But, you know, if you keep setting the example and bringing on people in the business, even, you know, your 20% time sponsoring, once you get to that point where you've really got a great team, that 20% says a lot. Even if, but 80% of your time needs to be making your time available for other people. And if people aren't using you, then go back to a higher percentage of sponsoring for yourself because you got the wrong people. You know, you can't always pick the right people. I can't tell you how many times I picked somebody and I knew they were the one, and they weren't. And then I had somebody else that I kind of overlooked, and they ended up being the person. Or what I always do is I'm always scanning. I'm always scanning down in my business. And then I find out the right person is on my 3rd level, or the right person might be on my 7th level. You know, I have something for 3 and 7. They always seem to fall 3 and 7. But the point I want to make is I'm constantly scanning. Who is the person? Who's like me? Who's the go-getter? Well, what do they look like? They show up at calls. They show up at meetings. They're constantly calling and asking questions. They're hungry. They're trying to grab onto everything they can. You know, I can point out people in depth in our business that well, look at Colleen. I'm looking at Colleen. Let me see. What level are you? Judy and Ian, Sandy, Carrie. No, Judy and Ian. You're what, about 4th or 5th level? 4th level? Dan, what level are you? 4th level? Oh my gosh, I've changed from 3 to 4. Mako, I guess you're about, let me see, 1, 2, 3. You're 4th level. Oh my gosh. Oliver, you're 3rd. All right. So the point I want to make is you're scanning, and I am working with the people who want this business. I'm not out coaxing and convincing. I'm not out trying to badger and plummet somebody to make them build the business. They are not my employees. They're volunteers. I'm looking for the people who inspire me. And I'm going to tell you, I'm looking at them right now. So anyway, I just want you to understand something. When people tell you that this is a business you have no control, I want you to understand you control everything, because you control you. And you are the key to success in this business. So Malcolm, just love you to death. You're doing a great job. And thank you for having me on. And I'll pass it back to you.
Excellent. Wow. Okay. I'm sure you all don't mind, because sometimes, you know, we get people saying, oh, these calls are long or whatever. I think that every piece of information is really important. I've got a few more guests, but I want to bring a few points that have been brought up because you need to be jolted back into what the call has been about so far. Here are some of the notes I've made. It's local, national, and international. I think one of the real keys that came through for me was Empo Dindy's way of talking about what she does. She talks to everybody. And if you look at this, she says only one person was a member of her family. Most of them she's met somewhere else through doing business. She meets a doctor at an expo or some kind of speaking engagement that she had for women, and that person's got 6 new sapphires, set a whole country on fire. She's met other people on the internet. She's met people through other people. This business is about sharing. But here's the key to what she said. She's proud to be talking about what we do. I never stop talking about what I'm doing, because the transformation, physically, as Paul has just mentioned, with my weight loss, but also mentally and emotionally, after a roller coaster ride I've come into a place where I'm very comfortable with great people. And there's a lot to be said about what you picked up on this call so far, but I've got a few more guests that I want to bring online. So I think that was important, local, national, international. And also, Paula mentioned about be the leader. It goes down to the following three things that I learned in the Amway business, which is where I come from as well initially. Know the way, go the way, and then show the way. And I love what Paula says. We have a volunteer army. We're not their boss. We don't tell them what to do, and we don't control them. Each one is an individual that will flower or wither depending on what you feed that flower with. So that's an excellent presentation as far as I'm concerned so far. Let's move on to my next guest very quickly. And it's a wonderful girl that I met online just a little while back. She's calling in all the way from Canada. Her name is Tammy. She's going to share with you briefly her background, her burn, and what excites her about what's going on in Jeunesse right now. Tammy, without further ado. Okay, we've got to get you unmuted. There you go. Excellent.
Can you hear me now, Malcolm?
Perfectly. Thank you, Tammy.
Thank you very much for that introduction. And thank you so much for inviting me to share my story and a little bit about my journey with Jeunesse today. I first have to say, I'm so inspired by this call. And that's one of the many reasons that I'm so proud to be part of this organization. And many people today have talked about the fact that, you know, going to the next event or interacting with people, it's so important in this business. And one thing that has kept me engaged over the last few years since I've been with Jeunesse is going to those big events. Because even when we find that we're in times that we're stuck or, something's not working for us, the best place to go is a room full of between 5 to 15, 17,000 people who are all interested in being Generation Young. So, I mean, that's such a phenomenal thing that we're able to do and travel around the world doing it. So I'll talk a little bit about my background first. I have a retail background. I was a manager trainee for Sears Canada. That was my last corporate job. And my husband and I decided to have more children. I have 4 children. So when I had my 3rd child, I started answering the phone for my husband's service business. And he's had a business for over 35 years. And we decided to open our own high-end outdoor kitchen and fireplace shop. And we had that business for over 9 years. And as much as we loved that business, because both of us love to help people, what we found is that we had no time for our family, for our children and our friends. And success, money isn't everything. I mean, it's certainly right up there like oxygen, Zig Ziglar will say, but we did not have time freedom. In fact, our oldest daughter, her main job throughout her high school years was to look after her 2 younger siblings. And we missed a lot of things with them growing up. So we were looking for another business, and a main drive for that was for me to help retire my husband's back, because being in service, he has a very laborious job. And so Colleen Ferguson, my fabulous sponsor, and I were actually looking for another business. And we knew that at the time we wanted to surround the baby boomers because they've kind of dictated the market. Although Jeunesse products do stem into the other generations, as we all know now, especially with the new Envy product that I'm so excited about. But we were looking for a company and it had to meet a very high criteria. And I'm not going to get into the whole story about it, but Colleen texted me and told me she had found the product that we were going to sell. And I immediately said, I'm in. And the reason for that is, like many of the speakers today, this business is really about relationship building and trust. And that's why I'm so proud to be a part of the Global Partners Group. I trusted Colleen. I knew the businesswoman she was. I knew what we had talked about. We had a lot of things in common. We were interested in health. And the main thing is we love to help other people. And when we found this company, Scott Lewis, Wendy, and Randy, the fact that they were building a culture of Generation Young fell right in line with what we were looking for, and the executive team. So it's been a fabulous journey. The best thing, I know we're limited for time here, Malcolm, but the best thing I can tell you has been the journey. not just, you know, for the growth of your business, but for growing yourself and bringing value to other people's lives. You know, there is a better version of ourselves waiting on the other side. And, you know, through growing yourself with this organization's help and training, it adds so much value to your family and your business and the growth. And I think this team has everything that we all need to help us grow a business. I've grown my business in over 12 countries, and I'm very, very excited about what's happening in North America now with the launch of the Envy product. So I'll give it back to you, Malcolm. I don't know how much time I have here.
I'm going to let you go. Yeah, just very quickly. Just spend a minute about the reaction to what's happening in the field as far as Envy is concerned and your success with it. What about a minute, please?
Okay, the Envy product. The number one thing I can say about Envy, it's brand new to the Canadian market, to the North American market in general. And it is the first product of its kind in the entire world. It's an exclusive product. I mean, we have to remember that Jeunesse products are from the outside in and the inside out, you know? We have to remember that our skin, we have to feed our skin. And many people don't think about the toxic products that they're putting on their skin. And so to have a spray mist foundation, exclusive technology, exclusive bottle that gives an airbrush natural look without, I was totally into that. And I mean, people want to have healthy products for their skin, especially people with allergies, people with problems on the skin, rosacea, acne. They've got a fresh, clean product every single time they use it. And it's natural. It feels like rose petals. It's got botanicals, vitamins, and, you know, for high-end skincare to be combined with a foundation, we have got a product, and we've heard many of the leaders in the Global Partners Group talk about the fact that in their entire career, they have never, ever seen a product like this. And I'm just so passionate about it because people, it just fits. I love that they've added this Beautify and that it's natural. And I love Yolanda Halston. Every bottle of that Envy, like she said, is made with love. So that falls right in line with every other product that we have.
Excellent. Thank you so much for that. I really appreciate it. I'm sure the people online won't mind because there's some great information that's come through, and really it's perfect to weave you in with the lady that's been wonderful helping us to organize this call today. Her name is Colleen Ferguson. In a short few moments, she's going to tell you something that I think is probably one of the most exciting stories in the history of GPG. That's saying something. Apart from the discovery of a wonderful lady who is the diamond, a triple diamond of South Africa, an Africa continent herself, and Poe was sitting there looking at us over there. We also found another fantastic lady, and she went out to work, and she's going to tell you a little story about what happens in this business when you go out prospecting and looking for that nugget of gold in the large river of life. She's going to tell you about what happened, of how she started in India and what's happening for her in India. Colleen Ferguson.
Well, thank you, Malcolm. And I just want to mention how amazing everybody has been on this call today.
Present yourself. We can't see you.
Oh, you can't see me?
Yeah. Just click your button so we can see you full screen.
Should be on present now. Can you see me now?
Great stuff. No, I don't see you.
Okay.
Okay, good.
Well, hopefully everybody can hear me. So thank you very much for having me on the call again. And as always, these calls are so inspiring. Every time I get on one, you know, everybody thinks, oh, I've heard it before. It doesn't matter how many times you hear some of these speakers, it moves you. And huge congratulations to Mapo. Really, truly moved me. I almost had to shut my camera off. Very well done. Congratulations. So yeah, I have been working in India, well, from my home. I had put an ad on Facebook, which is how I do grow the majority of my business. There's lots of ways to grow your network marketing company. I am from a traditional background. I owned my own bridal shop for 10 years. And prior to that, I ran a lot of other companies. So learning the network marketing industry was a bit of a learning curve. You do go from having a boss, or in my case, being a boss, to learning how to shift gears and do it differently. But I do love to help people, and I love success of any kind, not for myself, but just in general. I love success. And I did see opportunity with India because it is a country that has been talked about being open for some time now. Actually, I think 2 years they've been talking about opening India. So I did see a huge opportunity there to help a lot of people who maybe want to run their own company, have their own business, and have the entrepreneurial spirit like myself. And I knew I could help them and teach them and show them how to do that, obviously with the help of the GPG training platform and, of course, Jeunesse Global's incredible platform to grow globally. In India, most of their MLMs, I believe almost all of them, did not allow them to work outside of India. So to them, it's a dream to be able to have a platform that allows them to grow their businesses in over 140 countries around the world. So when they sign someone up in another country, you wouldn't believe the excitement that they have in their WhatsApp groups. It's heartwarming to see how excited they get. And I think we take it for granted. So watching them develop is going to be amazing. And I am going there on Wednesday. I leave on Wednesday with Ian Murray. We're heading to India. I do think it's important. I want to touch on something Mapo said about pushing into your fears and things like that. Anybody who knows me knows I have a tremendous fear of flying. And my husband, he's an owner of his own company, and they are offered 2 free trips a year every year. And the partners, which my husband is, and their wives are all allowed to go on the trips. And in the 15, 16 years we've been together, I have gone on 1 trip, and that's due to my fear of flying and traveling and whatnot. And then since I joined Jeunesse, I've started to push into my fears and realize that nothing will change unless I change. And I started traveling a little bit, and even going on Jeunesse trips to me was not comfortable for me, but I did it anyway. And I've gotten a little better. But going to India, people do not understand how big of a push of my fears this is to get on an airplane that I'm going to be in the air for 20 some odd hours. So I just want to reiterate what Mapo said, that yes, if you want this and you want to change your life and you want to change other people's lives, you have to push into your fears and see what's on the other side. So I'm very excited about it. The team has grown to 2,000 people in a very short period of time. And I'm just so happy for them all. And what it's going to do, changing their lives, to me, is going to be the most exciting part. So I can't wait. And I can't wait to get there to meet them face to face. We've been Skyping and talking for months now. And it is really life-changing what's going to happen to their families. And I'm just very happy to be a part of that and help them do that. So back to you, Malcolm.
Excellent. Thank you very much for that. Did you notice the thread with both of those individuals? You put me on the screen, please. I think it's important from Mpo and from Colleen, just from 1 or 2 people, they can build an entire empire. And look at that. She went fishing on Facebook, found 1 person. That's up to 2,000 people now. And the great news is, we've been talking about it, is that very shortly, registration in India will be free, from what I've gathered. And we haven't got time on this call, but we're going to put a poll together, especially later on next week. We got Ian and we got Colleen who are going to India. Phenomenal market. There are, I believe, 300,000 or something millionaires in India. And it's one of the wealthiest top section of planet Earth. Remember, nearly a quarter or a fifth of the planet Earth population lives in that one place. So it's absolutely exciting. And I've never been there myself, so I'm really looking forward to getting some feedback from Colleen of how she's actually got on herself. Okay, I'd like to now, if I can, bring on my last couple of guests, one after the other. The first one I can't see at the moment online. If he's there, Oliver, if you're there, I'd like to reveal yourself, please, hopefully fully clothed. And I'd like to start off, if I can, by introducing you to an incredible guy who I've met now several times, an inspiration to many, and really the person that went out there talking to people. He's probably one of the greatest in my lifetime that I've met, face-to-face prospectors. He's absolutely fearless, goes out. He's built an enormous organization, and he's the sponsor of Mpo India. I'd like to introduce you all briefly, if we can, from yourself, Oliver, some background to Oliver Grimley, calling in from South Africa. You've got about 7 minutes, Oliver. Thank you, Oliver.
Hey everyone, thank you so much for having me on the call. Not dressed professionally, but I'm rocking the Zen shirt tonight. I'm absolutely crazy about this product. So that's what I'm going to focus on tonight. And I'm going to tell you, exactly what you can do with that, and a little bit of philosophy is just around product. But Malcolm, thanks for putting this call together, and Impor, amazing to have you go elite. That was just crazy. So very, very awesome. Somebody's done it in our team. It's been a long time coming, and we're so happy we managed to get someone elite before Paula gets here. So yeah, that's amazing. Well done, Impor. Anyway, guys, I'm holding the Zen bag, and as you all know, in South Africa, we've got this amazing product in the market now. We just had Mark McDonald in South Africa. Wow, what an unbelievable human being. Just to spend time with that man, learn from him. And my background as a professional athlete, I just couldn't get enough of the guy. I was following him around everywhere. So I learned so much about this product. And what I really did, just to give everyone a tip, when they launch a new product in the market, before Mark McDonald even got here, I just spent time going through every single one of his videos on his Facebook. I read everything on the Facebook page. People say, oh, it's a lot of stuff to read, but I tell people you read it once and that's it. You read it once, you know it, and that's it. You never have to read it again. I know everything now about Zen. A lot of people in my leaders, my team, they know so much about this product. So you've got to get your product knowledge up. Whatever the product is, whether it's NV, whether it's Zen, whatever your product is, get that knowledge and get it done. Once you get that knowledge, it's so much easier to go out there and actually have the confidence, because all confidence is repetition. When you repeat something enough, you naturally will be confident. So that's what you just need to understand. It's the same with being able to prospect people. In the beginning, trust me, I wasn't good. I got good because I never quit. Same with tennis. I wasn't good when I started. I couldn't even hit a ball over the net. I had to hit tens of thousands of hours of balls to be able to play on the tour. It's no different with this. It's no different with business. It's the same principles. That's why athletes are always usually successful in business, because they understand the same principles apply to becoming an athlete, apply to being good in the business world. It's just that persistence, that dedication, and just believing in yourself and thinking optimistically and positively, right? So a little bit about the product, right? So obviously, every market has a different product. We only had one product when we started in South Africa, like the Luminous line. That was it. I was bringing in Ageless from the US, just shipping it in, making it happen, because that was the wow factor product. As Malcolm says, that's the key that opens the door. It's a huge product. Reserve is the top seller globally, but I can tell you that everyone is different. So obviously your ladies are gonna love the Envy. They're gonna go crazy about it. Me, it's a great product, but I'm not gonna go crazy about Envy. It's a great product, but the ladies are gonna go crazy about Envy. Me, I'm gonna go crazy about Zen, because Zen is who I am. That's in my DNA. I used to take protein shakes way before Zen even came out. So for me, I'm super naturally enthusiastic about this product. So I'm asking you, what are the top 2-3 products in the Jeunesse range that you can be naturally enthusiastic about? And those are the ones you need to put most of your energy into pushing and promoting, because you'll just get a better return for your time, if that makes sense. So for me, I'm focusing on Zen. I have no doubt this is going to be the #1 selling product in Africa, even more than Reserve. It's amazing. So I love this product. As you can hear, the enthusiasm. It's like I'm taking 3 shakes a day. I take the Fit all the time. I love the product. So ask yourself, what's the product you love, and push that product. But the other thing is, you've got to be on the product. This is something that's so important. There's people that join network marketing business. They're like, oh, I want to make money. And then they try to push the product and they're not even on the program. How are you going to tell somebody to get on the Zen Project A program if you're not on it yourself? You have to be on the program, right? And people say it's expensive. I thought about it today. It comes to 33 Rand a shake. Guys, I don't know where you can buy a meal anywhere for 33 Rand. So it's actually cheap, because if you think about it, it keeps you full for 3 hours. So that is a full-on meal. You spend a lot more money going to buy something at a restaurant or at a takeaway, and usually it's bad for you. This is healthy. So you just have to be able to create that perception of value. Instead of telling them the big amount, break it down. It's 14 meals a week for 8 weeks. That's a lot of meals you're getting for that amount of money. Do you see now all of a sudden how it sounds like, wow, I'm actually getting a huge amount. So it's a lot of product, right, that you get when you go on the program. And then the last thing I just wanted to say is, what really separates Jeunesse from the rest of the world, the rest of the network marketing companies out there. I personally believe one of the main factors, there's many factors, but one of the key factors is the products. And that is that they are consumer-based products. These are products that, you know, some network marketing companies, you find the distributors have cupboards full of product. With Jeunesse, you order your prepaid order ship for 6 months, and before you know it, you got to order more product because the freaking product's so good that you taking it and you selling it. So I tell people, and I learned this from a guy on my team, he said, stock it high, watch it fly. I promise you, if you want your business to double, just order a huge amount of product and just watch what happens. If you carry that product with you wherever you go, you're going to find opportunities to move that product. Does that make sense? I was having dinner tonight with one of my friends, and she said, I want to go on a detox. And I said to her, you want to go on a detox? She's like, yeah, I'm not going to eat anything. I said, listen, I just started this new program. We've actually got a detox phase. It's 1 week. She said, really? I said, yeah. I pulled out the PDF, detox phase. She read it. She says, oh, this is pretty cool. I can still eat and detox. I said, yes. I said, that's what you meant to do. She said, no way. I said, I got a bag of protein in my car. She said, I'm in. I went and got her the bag, gave her the bag at dinner. She's already now on the program. That's the power of having the product on you. Otherwise, I would have still had to convince her to join and pay the money, and it would have been a long process. Now she's already having her first shake tonight. That is the power of having the product on you. So you got to have all the Jeunesse products on you, or at least the ones you love, all the time. I think I've got 8 bags of Zen in my kitchen here. So, you know, you just have that product, stock it high, watch it fly. It's consumer-based. Right? It's consumer-based. Most network marketing companies, the product isn't targeted for the consumer. So you're going to have your business builders, but never forget, go and target, and this applies to Envy, this applies to Aegis, applies to Zen, all of our products. Think of people that have communities, right? So I'm approaching tennis academies because tennis academies have 20, 30, 40 students. Now all of a sudden I've got 40 students a month on the Zen program. Does that make sense? Golf clubs. You know what I mean? Rugby clubs, football clubs, you name it. Anyone that could adopt a nutrition program. And we don't only have a product, we have a whole nutrition program. It's a philosophy on eating. It's so much bigger than a product. The product is just part of it. Does that make sense? And Envy is going to be the same. When Envy comes out, guys, it's going to be huge in South Africa. So I hope that information helped. But go out there, get product. If you're not on the program, please get on the program. And if you're not taking Envy, take Envy. Wherever you are, whichever your product is, choose your product, push it with enthusiasm. Go out there, believe in yourself. And I love what Malcolm said, impossible, nothing's impossible. It actually breaks. If you break it down, it says, I'm possible. I am possible. So everything's possible. You just have to believe it.
Brilliant. As we start going towards the end of our call, you know, gosh, there's so much we could cover, but time is always a slight enemy for those who have challenges in absorption of information. My next guest, who will be my final guest for tonight before I round the call up, is a gentleman who I've got to know. I'm very fond of him. He's always been a stout supporter of our calls every weekend. Today, for example, you know, literally 20 minutes before the call, I said, I'm not sure if Oliver's going to come online on time. He might have a problem with the connection. Paula might have a problem with connection. Would you be kind enough to be there for me? And always, as he does, with a big smile, so of course, Malcolm, no problem at all. I'd like to introduce you all as we start winding my call up tonight to Dan Parks, who's calling in from Tennessee, where I believe they make some great Scotch or Jack Daniels. That's where they comes from. Who's going to share with you a few thoughts as we start winding the call up. Ladies and gentlemen, we've got here Dan Parks. Dan, over to you.
As always, Malcolm, it's a phenomenal call. And yes, people will complain about how much time they spent on it, but you know, it's just like Oliver just said. How much time can you spend practicing to be good? How much practice or how much time can you spend to learn more, to be more? So I took notes kind of like you always do. I mean, tons of notes. And I'm just going to take, because I know time's sensitive, I'm going to go through a few bullet point things. I know last weekend I talked about some things that it's funny how things go around. Last week, what I talked about is exactly what was reinforced this week. So mindset, you know, Mapo talked about her mindset. She knows her why. That's what's going to drive you through the toughest challenges. And no matter what you do, is if you have the strong enough why to make it happen, then it happens. But you always have to keep that in front of you. In front of me now on my desk, my why sits there and I see it every day. It's what inspires me to do everything that I do. Coaching, you know, we talked about this. This business requires that you have a coach, great athletes, great successful business people. All of them can go back to people that were coaches to them through the journey that they had to be successful. So the great thing is we just saw two great coaches on your call today, and that's Paul and Kathy. You can't get any better than Paul and Kathy, period. I mean, she's got a new book out. If you haven't seen that, then go get it and read it 2 or 3 times. For those of you that aren't following the GPG Live Facebook page, Paula posts a live training call there every week. Watch it 6 times. Get to it, to get to know it so that it is ingrained in everything you think of. She did a phenomenal call. I'm not even talking about prospecting because she did a call this week that you can't get better than what she's teaching. So another thing that Kathy talked about, and I went away to a retreat for prospecting and recruiting with top earners. And it's one of the things that they talked about, and that is, are you a big fish in a little pond? In other words, that's just what Kathy talked about today was your vision. Are you just prospecting people in your neighborhood and you think, gee, once I get all those people, then all my leads are gone, all my business is gone, I can't go any? You know, Colette's a great example. She expanded her pond into the ocean. Now she's in India. You know, look at Mapo, look at Oliver, look at all the people on these calls. You know, I've got teams in 26 countries. It's because we saw a big ocean as our pond and not our backyard as our pond. So always expand your vision and go way bigger than what you can do. Mapo, again, I love her. I got to meet her in Orlando. I'm for sure grateful. I didn't get to spend enough time with her, of course, but I still was very honored to meet her, and congratulations, Mapo. But she talked about mindset, and that's exactly it. One other thing she talked about, not directly, but you can pick it up, and everyone on this call has the same mindset too, and that is find a way to serve many. Don't serve yourself. Find a way to serve many, and the more that you serve, the more successful you'll be. So always find that. You know, Paula talked about this. Lead by example. I spent time last week about leading by example. You know, 80% of your time should be prospecting. 20% of your time should be working with your team. You know, never stop prospecting. These are all things I talked about last week, and they're where did I learn that? From Paula, of course. Another thing that she talked about, and again, I talked about last week, I wrote it down, bones versus muscle. And what she talked about was, you can go to a meeting, you can be on this call today, and everyone on this call today can be excited. They're going to get off and go, oh my gosh, I'm going to do just like Mapo, I'm going to do like Oliver, I'm going to do like all these people. And in a few days, they're going to find themselves right back where they were before this call because they've not changed the habits. That's the challenge in this business. Everyone on this call will tell you that the reason they're being successful now is because they've changed their habits. You know, there's a lot of people that are on this call. They go, oh yeah, I'd like to make lots of money. I'd like to do all these things. I'd like to have a business. But you know, my garage is dirty. I've got to keep my garage clean. You know what? Put that off for 6 months, change the habit, get out and sponsor and build a business. So again, habits. That's the challenge to change. And a coach is what's going to help you change those habits. And the last thing that I'm going to talk about briefly is, you know, at the end of the day, I talk to people on these calls. I do presentations, I do 3-way calls. They all say the same thing. So, wow, you're really good at this. And I said, at the end of the day, the reason that I can do this, the reason I'm not afraid is because I speak from my heart, just like Mapo. I don't have to write things down. I don't have to remember stuff because I speak from my heart. I experience it. And so I'm just really recalling the experience. And when I do presentations, when I do meetings, they're never the same, but the concept and the foundation is the same because that's the basis. I might not say the same exact words every time, but the message is always the same because it comes from my heart. So if you go out, build your business, meet with people, let them know that you care about them. Let them know that you're opening your heart to them, that you want to help them and want to inspire them. If you're looking at this business for the first time, you're going to find that everyone in this business, everyone in this team is focused on helping everyone else be successful because we all rise to the top together. And we won't all rise to the top at the same time, but we'll all get there. So back to you, Malcolm.
Absolutely. Wow, what a call. Ladies and gentlemen, I love doing these calls, and like I've reiterated several times, some people say, well, we need to have 30-minute calls. I don't understand that mindset. I call it stinking thinking. It's people who just don't get it. For me, anyone who comes on a call like this and can draw bits of information, and every personality type that I bring on here is different. We've got Mpo, who's completely different to Dan, who's very different to Tammy, different to Colleen. All of us are unique individuals. Our barcodes are different to everybody else's. That's our barcodes and makes us unique. So I want to finish off on a high and just share with you a couple of things I picked up on this call and reminders to all of you. You've heard on this call that really this business can explode without you having work hard or work smart, can explode without you expecting it. Colleen goes out, she places an advert, she knows she had a why, she wanted to go out, she said India's happening out there using social media, which we're going to talk about on different calls. She puts an advert out, she finds one person. That one became 2,000. This business is about system, duplication, multiplication. I'll say it every day, all the time. And everything I've ever said has been vindicated on this call today. You've heard also Paula saying, go and sponsor, keep sponsoring. And you also heard her say, which is something that people seem to miss, that I really bang into places, you sponsor where you need to be sponsoring. And what you need to be doing is you can go wide. I call it plate spinning, like I did in my call the other day. By the time you get to number 65 plate, 48 plates have fallen, or you balance the spinning of your plates in your business. You sponsor where you need to be sponsoring. People like you, respect you, want to work with you, and are motivated. A team that's on fire, you work with that team. If not, you go out and you create a brand new team. Each new person that you bring into this business starts a funnel, an infinite number of layers deep that actually spiders across planet Earth, anywhere in that funnel. I described it to the training that I did in Holland as turning two trees upside down. Every leaf on that tree, a giant oak or a redwood tree, every leaf is potentially a brand new tree with more leaves. That's what our business is about. So we picked up from Mpo that she goes out and she talks to everyone. Isn't it important? A message that I picked up on this call today that you all need to understand. It's the music in your voice, people, that people listen to. Not what you're saying. It's the music in your voice. Most people don't hear what you're saying. Most people say too much about our products and stuff because they're nervous inside. But if you're in love with the opportunity, if you're in love with the people that we're with, you love the product itself, people will feel it and hear it. Did you notice so many comments when Mpo spoke? Because she speaks from the heart. People can hear the music. They can feel her heartbeat when she talks about things that she feels and can actually put them across to other people as well. You've got to be a product of the product we've heard about very quickly as we wind up. I can't understand why anyone's got a challenge with the products we've got. I've lost 22 pounds in weight. I'm still overweight. I'm not happy. But compared to a picture that I'm going to be releasing on Facebook shortly, which I dread to do, you'll see a huge difference in transformation. These calls are foundations to our business. They enable people like yourselves watching this to come into leadership, to be able to have a platform to share with other people, to be recognized as Mpo has today. So as I finish my call off, just remember this. This is a journey. It's not a race. And so succinctly put together by Dan. We all rise, but not always at the same speed. But it's the journey of transformation, the personal development that you'll get here. That is priceless. If you think about what we have, everything's in one place. We can transform ourselves by transforming other people's lives. What a great business. But it's business of service, servitude, helping them to do more, be more, and have more. In the process, we become more. We have more as well. And the journey itself is finished off with the cherries on the icing cake. This company offers better rewards than anybody else. You've heard from the speakers online today. You've heard from Paula and Kathy. 2 weeks from now, they're in Bora Bora. I'm going to go on my Emerald Experience this year. I certainly hope I will do. And it's something that I strive towards. As I finish my call off, I'm reaching out to everybody on this call. There's a saying that I learned many, many years ago. All that glitters is not gold. And the biggest challenge we have in this industry is people are looking around for shiny objects, looking for get-rich-quick schemes. You can see them on all the MLM boards of India and the MLM boards of America. Do nothing, be rich, this coin, that coin, this. It's all nonsense. We have a proven business, a business that has actually got the biggest global footprint ever known in this industry. We can deliver a product that people can buy in any place on planet Earth, a apart from Antarctica, from what I've seen in one of our movies. We've got training and support that's second to none. We've got products that actually work and transform people, and they're unique. Nobody else has got them. And I'll leave you with this message. If it is to be, it is up to me. And every single one of you watching this right now, look at my wonderful panel of guests. We've got Colleen Ferguson from the left there, from Canada. Excellent. I've got to know her really well. She put this call together for me. What a team that we've got. I couldn't do it. I said, Colleen, I need your help. Look at what she's doing right now, overcoming her fears of flying off to India. Team of 2,000. That's going to become 5,000 and 10,000 people for her. She's going to transform her life and her family's life. Look at who we've got with Dan. Always there, corporate businessman who ran a large business, flies airplanes, got a lifestyle that most of us really dream about in normal corporate business or in normal working lives. He's got that. He does it because he's got a passion for what he does, builds a business worldwide. Look at my sister, Empo. You've got to look at that lady, tiny little girl there, but a heart the size of mountains of the kingdom that she comes from. She goes out there and she talks to everybody about our business. She says it because she loves it, and she knows and she feels she can transform those people. And has she done that? Everyone she's met, she has transformed. And in that process, she's been transformed. We got my friend Oliver over there with his red T-shirt. I think he's extraordinary. I think at his age group, what he's going to achieve by the time he gets to like Dan, who's 36, and I'm 36 and a half, by the time he gets to our age, he's going to be a zillionaire, but not in money, in the wealth that people can't buy, with the friendships of a gigantic network of great people who respect him and are happy that he opened the doors to Africa. We got Tammy online over there. She's not had that much time to share, but I wanted her to share with you. It takes all types to make this business. Every one of you listening to this can do this. And my last message as I finish my call off on Sunday, the 4th of June, is this. You know, people are waiting. They are dissatisfied. In a world of bombs and murders and crazy things going on, people are looking. Who are we looking for? We're looking for dissatisfied people. It doesn't matter what their race is, religion is, color is, what their background is. It's just that they want more. And I believe we've got everything in place for them to achieve more with this particular business. And I'm saying it with passion because I totally believe it. Like most people on this call, I've had my ups and downs, large teams coming and going. When the people business, it doesn't matter. But I've gone out and done exactly what I'm asking you to do. Go and talk to more people about this business. The last few weeks, the last 4 or 5 days, I've got 5 new people who joined my business. I can't wait to get them started on a journey of a lifetime. I hope you've all enjoyed the call. Thank you for joining us on this Sunday. I hope you've got something out of it. And as you go to bed tonight, think about the opportunity you've got. Remember, your lovers, your friends, your mother and father, all the people that you know were once strangers you once said hello to. With that, thank you for joining my call tonight. Malcolm Peters signing out on the 4th of June. Good night, everybody.
Thanks, Malcolm.
Thank you.